Welcome to the Stone and Wood Post Show here on day 3 of the event window for the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro presented by GWM. And this Sunday will go down in the books. We had a monster crowd down here to watch our surfers go at it in a place for the quarterfinals, and we've already established a couple of semi-finalists on the women's side, but we've got so many big stories and big performances to dive into. Ronnie Blakey sitting alongside Felicity Parmentier, Jessie Starling. I don't know where we're going to start, but there is so much to get into. So many incredible rides today, and I think some of the best performances we've ever seen out here at Snapper.
Totally, I agree. I think that's one of the best days of pro surfing I've watched in a very long time. It's right up there for me, like top 5 days in pro surfing. It was incredible. Just when you thought the bar was raised and it couldn't go any higher, it got, you know, just pushed that bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. It literally was that. It was insane, and I'm looking forward to going through it all in the post show.
Really cool too, Jessie. We had today, I think, just a bit of a recalibration for competitors who had sort of bowed out early through those opening 2 stages of the GWM Aussie treble. They came back with vengeance today and getting some of the biggest scores in the contest and also causing some huge upsets.
Yeah, 2 big names that really stand out for me for that would be obviously Filipe Toledo. He just put on one of the most incredible performances I think I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Obviously watched a lot of surfing on the broadcast over the years, but to see what he did in person and just how much of an entertainer he is, the crowd went completely berserk. And then obviously going to this afternoon as well, Steph, going into the semis. I know you're supposed to be biased, but I am really rooting for Steph Gilmore.
It's hard not to, because she is making her competitive return and she is getting better with every heat that she surfs, and she's had a very difficult run through the contest, and the draw has been really hard. There is no easy heats at this level for some of the newcomers to the championship tour. Sawyer Lindblad on fire in that last heat of the day, getting the jump on the world champ Molly Picklum. Vaughan.
Sawyer, congratulations. You just defeated the world champion. No small feat, but you've done it to get into the semi-finals. What a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I knew it was going to be a good heat against Molly. So yeah, I just went out there and tried to get on the best waves, and I was happy to get a couple.
The band's about to fire up. I think we better get this done quickly. Look, there's no doubt that you are surfing with a new level of confidence. What's changed for you in the start of this year?
I think just during this off season, I worked really hard to improve my surfing. I wasn't really happy with my results last year on tour, so I knew I just wanted to come into this year looking different. I just wanted to have a more energy, more speed, more power, more flow, everything. I just wanted to, make it all better.
And the big point of difference is attack. Like, you are really going at the lip in ways that we haven't really seen from you before. Like, or at least you've elevated that part of your surfing. Where does that come from? Is that something you've worked on with Micro?
Yeah, for sure. Me and Micro have been working on my backside surfing a lot. We knew that there was going to be tons of rights on tour again, so I knew that was going to be super important coming into this event. Wow, it's really...
We'll get out of here before it turns into an absolute riot, but hey, listen, congratulations. Semi-finalist of the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro presented by GWM. What a great start to the year.
Thank you.
Yeah, big win for Sawyer Lindblad there, overcoming Molly Picklum. And we'll have to wait and see who she comes up against, because we've still got a quarterfinal heat to watch on the women's side. But we did see a clash of the 2 most creative surfers with those beautiful lines out here at Snapper Rocks this afternoon. Stephanie Gilmore taking on Caity Simmers. On paper, it was definitely one no one was going to miss.
Oh, for sure. This was, you know, beautiful to watch. It's poetry in motion, really. I mean, they're 2 of the most creative minds on the women's tour going at it, and everyone knows, you know, like, I think Katie's been pretty vocal that Steph's one of her favourite surfers, and Steph was vocal in the post-heat interview that Katie's one of hers. So it was really awesome to see, you know, the respect amongst the women. And then, you know, Steph, though, I mean, she started off with a 7.83. There was an exchange that went down with both of the women. Caity went first, then Steph backed it up with this wave here. Beautiful little cylinder through that Marley section. I mean, it's just so crystal clear. It's beautiful. It's trademark Steph when it comes to snapper. Yeah, but she got the job done and backed it up with a 6.9. Caity, you know, Caity didn't go down without a fight, though. I mean, she kind of gave it to Steph right up until those last moments, pulled into a couple of kegs, but couldn't really find the exit on the last one. But yeah, for me, I don't think Steph's looking rusty anymore. It's not a case of that. The Queen is most definitely back.
Yeah, and she's beat the real young superstars on this CT to earn her place in the semi-finals here again.
Oh, absolutely. And every single time she got up on her feet, she looked more and more relaxed. I called that heat with Laura and Dimity, and seeing them watch her kind of relax every single time she was up and riding and find her form again. You could see how proud they were as her best friends, and as a massive fan and all the fans on the beach, I think we were really lucky to be able to witness that moment where Steph probably felt like she'd come out of a really brief retirement. Yeah,
most definitely. You can hear the music in the background, maybe. That's the Skegs playing down there on the main stage here at the end of the Snapper Rocks car park. And they are massive surf fans. Saw Benny, the front man, down there watching all these big heats unfold today, and this huge crowd being treated on a Sunday afternoon. And there's a lot happening out here at the moment. We've got the afternoon delight session happening in the lineup at the moment too. We're going to show you some waves of that in just a moment. But let's talk about some of the other big clashes that we watched today, because I mentioned it. A lot of surfers who've shown glimpses of brilliance through those opening events. They fired up today. They were willing to push it to another level. Leonardo Fioravanti went up against Jack Robinson. Jack's so desperate to get himself a huge result. But Leo's form, it's undeniable.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we saw Leo, you know, he fired up at Bells. I mean, and he had a couple of, you know, I think he had like probably the turn of the event down there, you know, over at Winky. And then Margie's, he had a couple of moments as well. But then this is a really tough draw coming up against Jack. I mean, Jack yesterday was absolutely insane to watch. Jack, you know, if you look at the heat totals there, he did have the highest wave of the heat. He just couldn't find that backup. But yeah, it's not an easy matchup for Leo, and he's probably going to take a lot of confidence from this heat win over Jack.
Yeah, he's buzzing at the moment, and earlier on he caught up with Jesse Starling.
Leo, we were just talking about how cool it is to start to see things swing the other way. It was 6-0 for a really long time between you and Jack in head-to-head matchups, but getting another one back on him at what is really now his new home court.
Jack is such an amazing competitor, and I mean, one of my best friends too. I've grown up with him, and losing 6 times in a row definitely hurt. But I just, you know, it was still good results. You know, one time we lost in the final. It was always like I was surfing well, and you know, now I've got 2 on him, so it's still a long way to go. But I'm just stoked I surfed a very good heat considering the conditions. I stayed in it. I surfed my game, and it paid off. You know, I'm really happy with that.
You were mentioning you were just worried about what Jack was going to do. You were thinking, is he going to get a deep barrel behind the rock? But by you staying in it, it's putting you into the quarterfinals and starting to rewrite the script for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep applying pressure. I know the wave that he was looking for, and I do feel like on the open wave I am surfing better than Jack at the moment, so I was really focusing on that. And Jack is such a guru, like, you know, I really thought that he was going to get pitted behind the rock, but if he did do that, then it is what it is. You know, I would have fought back the same thing. And yeah, I stayed in it, surfed my game. I felt like the first wave I could have surfed it a bit better, but definitely a couple nerves there, especially since it was slow and we were fighting for the inside at the start. And I chose to kind of give it up, right? I chose to let him have the inside, which somewhat unlike me, but at the same time I wanted to surf. And I just thought, you know, I wanted to adapt to the conditions, and just felt like it wasn't really doing it behind the rock at the moment.
It's definitely clear there's a lot of Aussies and there's a lot of Brazilians down the beach right now, but Italy is really showing up in fine form. You came and there was so many people cheering your name on the beach.
Oh, there's so many Italians. Look at them. They're all right there supporting me. Look at that. There's so many Brazilians and Australians, but coming in, hearing so much noise from the Italians, you know, meant so much. And also to everyone that's watching at home, you know, the Australian events for Europe time-wise is horrible. It's always like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but my family keeps watching me, keeps supporting me, my friends. Love you guys, and yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jesse. And look at this, Caity Simmers just swapped the event rasher for an afternoon delight stone and wood vest here, as we see some of the world's best. Kelly Slater included. He's out there riding a Corey Graham and just enjoying himself. I mean, everyone's just sort of been hanging for the opportunity to get themselves into these kind of waves. It's been pumping all day since first light.
Oh, I mean, why would you not take advantage of this and chuck the stone and wood rashy on there and get out there? You have the lineup essentially to yourself and just a few other people. And make the most of the beautiful sunset. You can listen to the skegs in the background. It's pretty epic arvo.
We honestly could have pulled highlight stories from each of the heats that we watched unfold in the third round of the men's event today, and I'm sure we'll see some at the end of the show, but we're going to pick out some of the key storylines. The Pupo brothers battling for a quarterfinal place was incredible. Miguel won bells. Sammy's been showing glimpses of brilliance, super consistent through those first two events. But today, Sammy stood up with Filipe Toledo and gave us one of the performances of the contest.
Yeah, Filipe with his heat total being 18.94. Sammy put up 18.90, so coming so close to matching the best heat of the day, but also the best heat of the entire season. I just love the fact that both of these brothers got a chance to really show us what they've got. Miggy obviously would beg to differ. He would definitely feel like he had more in the tank, but these two have so much respect for each other. It's not one of those rivalries where they get bitter about who wins and loses. They just love each other and want each other to succeed so much. And Miggy seeing Sammy find this flow and find this flair, he would have been so proud. This would have been a really awesome big brother moment for Miggy Pupo, but Sammy finding this gear today makes me feel nervous for Filipe Toledo. I mean, he just seems so in control and so calm. He made really great decisions in that heat as well, and if anyone's going to take it to Filipe, it's going to be Sammy Pupo.
Got a lot of, obviously former CT campaigners, greats, working as coaches. Jake Patterson, he's not coaching either of these two competitors, but I saw him down there after Sammy's performance. He said, my new favourite surfer. And that's a sentiment shared by a lot of people down here this year. Sammy's taken his surfing to another level. He's not a Challenger Series guy anymore. He's starting to dominate at the CT level. And like you said, he does go up against Filipe, who's on absolute fire. But I think it's going to be a really even clash. It's going to be hard to pick a favourite in that one, as we see Caity Simmers and Molly Picklum, who's still out there enjoying herself after getting knocked out by Sawyer Lindblad here in the afternoon delight Stone and Wood heat. But yeah, just back to that point flick. Sammy's finally arrived and just looks to be settling into his full potential.
Oh, I totally agree. I agree with everything you said. I think we saw moments of it at Bells. Not moments, because he obviously turned in a good result and a good result at main break, but the complete package was on show this afternoon at Snapper. It was amazing. I watched him win out here. I think we were both calling that Challenger Series event, what was it, a few years back now. And yeah, he surfed incredible then, and he knows what it feels like to be in the jersey out here. So I think if anyone's going to take it to Filipe, it has to be Sammy. So I'm looking forward to that matchup.
And looking at the lineup of competitors left in the draw here, Sammy's got a really good opportunity to seize that yellow jersey as well, just with his consistency.
Definitely. With Gabriel Medina out of the draw, this means that Sammy could make a big jump up the rankings. George Pitter got knocked out by Liam O'Brien today as well. So Sammy, one of those top guys still left, and there's that little carrot at the dangle as well with the GWM tank, and Sammy would love to take that back home to Brazil and to have another win for the Pupo family. It would be the ultimate trip to Australia for them.
Most definitely. Well, our resident surfboard nerd, I should say, Richie Lovett's back at it. He's down there in the Surfboard Empire Pro Shop.
Yeah, thanks guys. Down here at the Surfboard Empire Pro Shop. Pro boards everywhere. This is Gabriel Medina's from Johnny Cabianca, and it feels so good under the arm. You know what? You can come down, check them out, and if you really want them, you can buy them. All these boards available. These are replicas of what the pros are riding out here in the event today. There's boards from all our favourites. The Brazilian Storm coming on strong. Iago Dora, as I said, Gabriel Medina, John Florence, and so on and so on. But not only that, you can get their rashies. Come on down, come and grab them. We got the world champ, Iago Dora, the yellow jersey. That's a hot ticket item. His new signature line from FCS, the grip, the leash, and the fins. And I can tell you, this place is absolutely heaving. All the event merch, t-shirts, hats, jumpers, plenty of Florence gear as well. But it's going quick. So come on down, tell them you know me, and they probably will give you a discount, or maybe not. But worth a try. Back to you guys.
Well, I think you get a discount if you check out that QR code at the bottom of the screen there, courtesy of Surfboard Empire. Shop the world's best surfboards. I've been down there and had a look at them. I think Medina's and Cole Houshman's are the only ones on the rack that would actually float me. They've got the XXL Rashi versions too for those non-athletes amongst us. No, come on.
Don't be so hard on yourself,
Mate, I've just been sitting around to go surfing. We're going to get our chance, I think, next week because the forecast is looking good for the complete window. Let's keep talking about some of the amazing stuff we witnessed today. Sometimes on paper, you see a heat come together and you know that it's going to deliver. And Gabriel Medina coming up against Filipe Toledo, that was huge. That's the best of the best. The two most consistent performers on this tour meeting here today in the third round.
This matchup was absolutely insane. And I think one thing we've heard Gabriel Medina talk to and Filipe is that they really do feed off the energy of the crowd. And they had a ginormous crowd. It was the most packed it had been all day down there. Look, Gabriel Medina was, obviously this #1 seed coming into this heat, but Filipe absolutely took it to him. For me, Felipe's on another planet right now. It is actually insane. And to quote Nick Fanning, it's pure filth is what we saw from Filipe. It really is. It was insane because Gabriel Medina just has this sort of way of powering his way through heats and powering his way through sections no matter what the conditions are on hole. But Filipe, you've got to give it to him. He is the most informed surfer. He's the previous event winner, when we went to Burleigh last year. And yeah, I mean, to do it in the way he did with the highest heat total of the event so far, 18.94. Wow. I mean, coming up against Sammy Pupo, who also had the second highest heat, 18.9. That quarterfinal is going to be insanity. It is.
Yeah, Filthy Phil, I think we're going to have to start calling him. But he's just back to, his very best. He's had to maintain a really strong mindset after bowing out early in the first two comps of the year. But he just seems like he's in a really good place mentally, and he's kind of dealt with his losses pretty well. I mean, there's been disappointment there, but he's quickly rallied, got himself together, and got himself well prepped, obviously, for an event where he's been so dominant in the past.
Yeah, he spoke to it in a post-heat interview after his first round win, and he said the start of the year over at Bells and Margie's was the best he's ever felt in his career, and I thought to myself, wow, that's a little bit terrifying. And then he really put that on paper today, but he also said in that post-heat interview that he knew that his time would come and he just needed to trust the process and know that when it would all unfold, it would. And I think that just shows that the mind space that Filipe is in is good. He's not afraid to lose. He's not afraid to just follow the path that's been put out for him at the moment, and he's just focusing on his surfing. And as long as he's doing that, I'm happy, because what he put on today was an incredible performance.
Let's have a look at the quarterfinal bracket here at the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, presented by GWM. Matchups established, look absolutely enthralling, starting with Kauli Vaast, who's been on a giant killing run, and Ethan Ewing, also another one of those title contenders that's had a real return to form.
Oh yeah, I mean the first quarters they're absolutely stacked. Kauli's been so powerful on the backhand. Ethan Ewing, another one who, massive heat total today. I mean, yeah, Mateus, Herdy, Liam O'Brien, Connor O'Leary on the backhand. He was a favourite of mine from the very beginning, coming up against a very informed Leo. And then, I mean, quarter four, I mean, for me, that is absolutely the quarter to watch. It's the two most informed surfers of the event so far. So, yeah, tomorrow is going to be incredible, especially with apparently, according to the great bug one, there's going to be a little bit of a kick in the swell and we're going to have offshore winds. So I think it's going to be a great finals day.
What's been interesting is, as I mentioned before, sort of like a reshuffle, if you will, of the order, and the domination of the Brazilians has almost been stalled by them because they ended up on the same side of the draw here, Jesse, and it sort of allowed some of those surfers that showed brilliant free surfing in the lead up to this tour getting underway to find their place in this lineup. Talking about Ethan Ewing and Connor O'Leary in particular.
Something that I've really taken away from the Aussie treble is that this year is a long year, and just when you think you're okay on the rankings, you might have an absolute shocker in the next one, and then you competing at Abu Dhabi in Portugal, but you can't think that way. It's such a long year, and I just feel like we're going to see these rankings chop and change so much. Just when you think you're going to catch fire, that next event, you never know what's going to happen. But I just love the guys who have caught fire here. Ethan Ewing has been a big standout for me, and Liam O'Brien as well. So they're two surfers that, as patriotic as it might sound, or biased as it might sound, I'm really looking forward to watching them surf tomorrow, because their performances today were just so mind-boggling with how good their surfing was.
Yeah, a healthy tour gives you that. It gives you like results that, you know, are shared around the field, and we do have so much depth. Speaking of Ethan Ewing, mophie power contender, move of the day. He was unbelievable today, and he actually went out there and started surfing straight away. He's been so patient, a little too patient in some people's opinions, but here working with Phil McNamara, who used to coach Mick Fanning, he's found his groove, and I mean, this is a wave that he almost slipped up on, but this turn,
he's the one that really started this fire today. You know, it all started with Ethan Ewing in this heat and the incredible performance we saw from him. I mean, he's pushing so hard on that DHD. But yeah, he's the one that started this whole, you know, combustion on the men's side, just like absolutely ignited the fire. It was pretty nuts. After that, we saw, you know, a lot of the guys go to absolute town. As we see, it looks like Morgs.
Yeah, on the 20, Morgan Siblick. And, you know, he's definitely one of those guys that we're expecting to bank a big result at some point. Been surfing incredibly well as Kelly finds some cover here. The sun is well and truly dipped now, and it's virtually dark out here. The Skegs are firing up on the main stage, and yeah, what a soundtrack for the surfers to enjoy this lineup.
Such a cool afternoon to have a perfect sunset here on the Gold Coast. Really fun waves. If you're out there, you're sharing it with Kelly Slater. Kauli looked a bit frustrated on that one. Kelly just burnt him and got so slotted on that last wave. But if you're 11-time world champ, you can go whatever you want, wherever you want. So it really is just been probably the best event I've ever been to in my life. It's just been electrifying. I've never seen so many people in one place than what I did today on the beach. And when Phil and Gabby came down, I've never heard crowd like that. It's incredible.
Yeah, remarkable stuff, and we've got a lot more to look forward to on the wave quality surf as we have a look at the Surfline forecast already. A yellow alert for tomorrow. Crowning champions. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, things are looking epic for tomorrow. You know, I think we've been absolutely blessed when we came here, you know, and it's been welcomed because, you know, we know lack of opportunity in the first couple of events, but we've rocked up to the Gold Coast. We've had plenty of swell. You know, you can see all that red, the red blobs on the map. That's all that swell. We've obviously been blessed with some nice winds as well. You know, obviously snapper protected, you know, from that southerly flow, so because it wraps around so much. But if we look forward to the next 4 days, okay, tomorrow's yellow alert for finals day. Hallelujah, 6 to 8 foot faces, potentially bigger in the afternoon and offshore. And then look, as far as free surfing goes and us getting a surf in, the rest of the week looks pretty bloody good.
Yeah, hope no one else on the Gold Coast is seeing this.
Yeah, everyone look away, don't watch.
But it is shaping up to be a spectacular finish to what's been a remarkable event. Finals day, yellow alert, it's on tomorrow morning. We'll be getting down here nice and early to have a look at the conditions, and you know, we've put ourselves in a good position, getting almost through the women's quarterfinals. Men's quarters are set, and we know those matchups are incredible. Let's have a look at a couple of the hydrolyte heats to watch. Obvious pick, this one, quarterfinal number 4, the 2 highest scoring surfers of the event.
Yeah, Filipe Toledo, he's just been outstanding for me. The form he's found, the speed he surfs with I don't understand how he does it. It really is just so impressive. And then Sammy Pupo, let's think back to Margie's. We were relating Sammy to Filipe Toledo, and now they're going to come up against each other. So Sammy with an opportunity to prove that he really means business here.
Sure is. On the women's side, semi-final number 1, hydrolyte heat to watch. Nadia Aristabe on a giant killing run. She has done what we thought was impossible, beating Gabriella Bryan on a right-hander when there's a bit of punch and power. She has been squaring up deluxe, big backhand hits, and the judges have been throwing excellent scores her way.
Oh yeah, and prior to that, the round before, Caroline Marks, you know, a world champ as well. Before that, Alyssa Spencer, who's been in form on her backhand. So she's been on a massive run throughout this contest, and it was really cool to hear Steph talk up Nadia in her post interview and say that's probably one of the best backhand turns she's ever seen done by a woman at Snapper this afternoon. So I think this is going to be a really cool moment for Nadia coming up against probably one of her heroes. And look, but I'll tell you what, Steph's looking like she's slipping into some pretty nice form, and conditions are the same. It's going to be hard for Nadia, but look, she's had tough draws before and she got it done this afternoon against world number 1. So
absolutely, yeah, and you know, Steph Gilmore's finding her form as she moves through the rounds. Nadia's already there. She's been dropping much bigger numbers, getting into the excellent range. I don't think we've seen Steph go there yet in the event, but Steph knows how to shut down events. And you look at the cast that she has worked her way through to get to this semi-final heat. And it's probably the toughest road that you could have even drawn up. So it's going to be a great clash, that one. We've still got one more quarterfinal heat to get through as well. Luana Silva up against Lakey Peterson, and that's a replay of the final from WA.
I think Luana's going to be pretty hungry to get one up on Lakey. You know, Luana's also made a couple of finals, you know, in her championship tour career and not been able to get that win. So I feel like, you know, obviously this isn't a final, it's a quarterfinal, but still, you know, it was only a week ago that Lakey got the jump on her. So it's still going to be pretty fresh, and I feel like she's pretty fired up to get the win.
All right, you two. Fire up the, warm up the tonsils, get ready, because it's time for the BioGlen Daily Dose. The top 5 moments from a monster third day of competition here at the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, starting with the rising rookie Nadia Eristabe on the back end.
Just looking so sharp, 8.67 for 2 turns here today at Snapper. She was annoyed that she didn't get more down the line, but I was pretty impressed with what she got done out the back, taking down our current world #1, Gabby Bryan, who can easily surf her way to big scores, so she played her cards really well here.
Can't believe we haven't even touched on the performance of Liam O'Brien in the post-show, but luckily he comes in at #4. He went so big today.
Lobby went extreme. He was the next guy after Ethan. He found a couple of absolute gems. I said he got the double barrel. It felt like a double rainbow to me when I was calling it. It was that good to watch. Just the silky lines. I mean, he's a point break specialist for a reason. You know, he grew up just down the road at Burleigh, and he's just really showing us that prowess here at Snapper. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, his quarterfinal matchup. But yeah, locked in a 9, backs it up with an 8.5. We're going so large on that turn. But just the read through some really tricky sections and some way, like just the repositioning on the bottom turn to really make sure that he can square up properly with those sections. The read was beautiful to watch, and we saw a lot of lobby heads on the beach, and I'm sure we're going to see even more tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Molly Pickler went up against Sawyer Lindblad, and Sawyer, she was here in January, getting familiar with this break, and that time in the lineup has really paid off.
Oh, absolutely. Sawyer, her backhand, similar to Nadia's, just looking so sharp. Going to see 2 goose in the semi-final here. And Sawyer, it's no easy task coming up against Molly Pickler. I mean, she's the reigning world champion. She comes up to the Gold Coast a lot. She's been doing it her entire life. So she knows this wave so well. But Sawyer putting the time in here, working with Micro, who knows Molly better than maybe anyone, and using that to her advantage to get a win over Molly Pickler here today.
Coming in at #2, it was the battle of the brothers. Sammy going up against Miggy, both showing amazing form and consistency this season. But Sammy, he was really in attack mode and showed the same kind of spark and fire we saw from Toledo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the battle of the Pupos, and it lived up to its expectation. You know, Sammy went turbo. He really did. I feel like he just clicked into another gear in his surfing where he was pushing harder through his turns. I think there was a real aggression, you know, that he showed us. And I mean, I think it was this moment here, this turn, followed by, I think this next moment was just seriously powerful. Yeah, that for me was my single most favorite carving. This one, the third turn. My God.
Was it this one?
Yeah, maybe it was that one. It just keeps getting better and better. No, honestly, Sammy really impressed me. But look, Miggy kind of, you know, he had a couple of waves in this heat as well. I'm sure he would have liked to have probably surfed a bit better, but he's going to be stoked for his younger brother, Sammy.
Coming in at #1, an 18.94 heat score total. Getting right up towards a 10-point rider at one point, fully in the zone, and really just risking everything on those first big sections on the outside, Jessie.
A 9.77 and a 9.17. Just getting tubed behind the rock is one thing. To come back out, do one of the biggest full rotations we've ever seen. Filipe had just found this form that he'd been chasing all year, and then to come back out and absolutely detonate this wave multiple times from start to finish along the sandbank. He was just flexing on Gabby Medina, and not a lot of people can say that they can do that. They exchanged words at the end of the heat, and he said, "I'm sorry, bro, but that's the only way that I was going to beat you, is you have to go big. You've got to drop 2 9s. And today was his day. I loved it.
Gabby's still smiling. Yeah, hard to flex. Pure iron.
Yeah.
Medina's just been a force this year, which makes that win even more impressive. And, you know, Toledo he's shown in the past that he can sustain and keep putting up those excellent heat scores, 18 points plus, right through a competition. And that's what Sammy's going to have to find too, that consistency.
I think Sammy's going to bring it. I really do. I feel like we've just seen these moments throughout this, the beginning stages of this year, and today it's all clicked in. And I feel like, it's going to be such a good matchup because I think you brought it up, Jesse. There's been those sort of comparisons drawn that Sammy is a young Filipe, and there's similarities in their surfing. So it's going to be really cool to watch it all go down.
Can't wait. We've got so much to look forward to tomorrow. We've still got the Kira vs Snapper Superheat that's going to go down with some rising stars that have been handpicked by Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson to take part in that. And we had a pretty tricky, conditions-wise, a tricky battle between Mick and Parko, but Parko kind of broke their deadlock. They were kind of tied head-to-head, so tomorrow's going to be big.
Yeah, talk about a good heat. That's a great heat. I can't wait to see Mick and Parko get all competitive and feisty again. And to pair that with some of the juniors that we have in this part of the world, it's going to be a really fun heat to watch.
8:45 for a possible 9 o'clock start tomorrow morning, so make sure you don't miss a second of it. Yellow alert has been called. It will be our finals day. We've got legends, world champs hitting the lineup, and we've got some people chasing their first championship tour wins. We've still got so many highlights to enjoy this afternoon, so check them out. Join us tomorrow morning, and don't miss a second of what's going to be one of the biggest events we've ever been part of.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.